one of the most important parts of putting together a wedding cake is having a strong foundation, and that means having tier boards beneath each tier of your wedding cake. And having those tier boards is going to enable you to put supports underneath so that each tier can be held up. If you've ever held a cake, you know that it's really heavy once you've got all the buttercream in there. If you were to just set that on top of another tier, eventually, hopefully not halfway through the wedding, but it would start to sink down and the cake would tip over. So we want to make sure we have a really strong foundation, and the best way to do that is with a strong tier board. What I have here is a sheet of foam core that you can buy at your local art supply store. And I have the cake pan from one of the tiers that I baked off. So I'm just going to set this down in the center, grab a pencil, and I want to trace around the outside. You'll notice I'm tracing around the outside of the bottom of the pan, not the top. The top is about a 1/4 inch out. So I don't want it to be too far outside. So we'll just go around in a nice circle, meet myself halfway around. There we go. So now I've got a circle traced out. As you bake your cake, you've probably found that the cake shrinks a little bit on the inside of the pan. By going around the width of the outside of this pan, we're going to have a little bit of a lip, which is great, so we can coat that with our buttercream. I have an X-Acto blade here. I'm just going to dip it down into the center, and this takes a little bit of practice. You do 2 or 3 and you'll get used to it. First time you do it, make sure you buy a little extra foam core. You see I'm just following my line. I kind of pick up the board and move it as I go along. And I've got a self-healing cutting mat underneath, which is imperative if you have a nice table that you don't want to ruin. All right, so keep going. If you're doing a giant cake, you may want to invest in masonite boards, and you can order those through specialty cake shops or have them made by your local lumber yard. There we go. And that is how you would cut out a tier board.